Saturday afternoon of football on BTN as 4-4 Maryland visits 3-5 Rutgers. Welcome here in the booth at Piscataway, New Jersey, along with Coach Glenn Mason. I'm Brandon Gaunt, and you got two programs really pretty similar. Both came into the league back in 2014, a pair of second-year head coaches, and I think, Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, both heading in the right direction.
No, you're exactly right. You look at Maryland. Here it is November. Their bowl hopes are still alive, and for Rutgers, if they win here today, they would have won 3 out of the 4 last of their Big Ten games. That's huge.
And both teams have playmakers. Now, the one storyline for Rutgers is Janarian Grant may be out with that ankle injury.
Yeah, all indications he's not going to play. He's been banged up. That's a big loss. They use him in a lot of different ways. The wildcat, wide receiver, kick returner. That's the bad news. The good news is that Raheem Blackshear is back, and they're really high on him. He sat out last week, and, you know, for Maryland, they got some really good players. Ty Johnson as a running back, DJ Moore as a wide receiver, both as good as they come.
And DJ Moore may be the best receiver in the entire Big Ten Conference. But right now, Chris Ash and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, they are ready to take the field. Is out there ready to roll at High Point Solutions Stadium, and we welcome in the third member of our broadcast crew, Elise Menaker. Hello, Elise.
Hi, Brandon. Someone who's not rolling today, Janarian Grant. I have confirmed that he will not play today for a few weeks now, or pretty much the entire season. He's been dealing with a sprained ankle. It's kept him on and off the field. Today, he will just be off the field. He will not play, and neither will quarterback Jonathan Lewis. He, too, has been dealing with a sprained ankle since the Illinois game a few weeks ago. Head coach Chris Ash says they'll really only use him in an emergency situation. As for Maryland, they had some fun on their way to the game today. You know, you've heard of chartered planes. Well, they took a chartered train here. That's right, a 2.5-hour private train ride. This game was supposed to be played at Yankee Stadium, but those plans changed due to the Yankees' potential in the World Series. Maryland did not change their transportation plans. You can see the pictures. Offensive coordinator Walt Bell tweeted out, they sure seem to enjoy it. Guys, I'm kind of jealous. I'm not going to lie. It sounded like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, how cool is that? Taking the train up from College Park. Gorgeous day. There's a slight chance of showers, nothing like they're contending with in the Midwest. And temperatures pleasant, 58 degrees. Time for the Ace Hardware keys to the game, Coach.
Well, third down defense for Maryland. They've been playing pretty good defense, but opponents have been converting almost 50% of third down. They got to get off the field. And if you're Rutgers, it's run game control. They really struggle throwing the football. They got to run for 4 yards, 5 yards, move the chain. The run game has to work today.
And you mentioned Raheem Blackshear. He is ready to go. They missed the true freshman. And the bruised quad did not play against Michigan. 7.2 yards per carry. They get him going with the seniors. They really have a lot in the backfield.
Yeah, when I was talking to Jerry Kill, the offensive coordinator, who really knows a lot about a running game, he just thought that guy was fantastic.
They joined the Big Ten, both these programs, in 2014, so you see the total since they came into the league together. And Maryland at 4-4, still an outside shot at a bowl game. Obviously, that would be much improved if they could win here in this one. Maryland won the toss, electing to boot it away. And we'll get an early look at Raheem Blackshear and also Josh Hicks. That's Hicks, the senior. And Blackshear also back and ready to receive.
Yeah, I was mentioning what Jerry Kill was saying about Blackshear. I mean, he just lit up. He looked in, you know, he knows I've had good running backs when I was in Minnesota. He had some real good ones. And he was saying, this guy is as good as anybody who's been around.
Said he might be the best since Ray Rice was here. And it is Blackshear getting an early look at the freshman. As he's dragged down at the 19-yard line for a return of 15. If you are looking for the Northwestern-Nebraska game also going on right now, go to btn.com/gamefinder to see where you can find that game in your area. So Rutgers will be led out by Gio Ruscino, the redshirt junior. This will be his 4th start, 2-1 since taking over as a starting quarterback.
Yeah, ball controls, ball protection, I say, is a big thing for them. And this guy hasn't thrown an interception. I don't want to jinx him. For 101 passes.
Yeah, that dates all the way back to last season. It was Kyle Bolin, the Louisville transfer, who was the starter to begin the year. But it's been the Ruscino show as of late. Gus Edwards gets the first carry, and a strong carry it is for Edwards. First down. Speaking of Gus Edwards, he's on the screen for our Auto Owners Insurance Impact players.
Yeah, you see it go right there. You got to start off a transfer from Miami. They're going to try to win this game on the ground. We talked about Raheem Blackshear, who's really good. And then you talk about Darnell Savage Jr. for the Terrapins. Man, he just had a huge game a week ago.
He was spectacular against Indiana on the defensive side of the ball and in special teams. They'll go to Edwards again, this time stretching it around the outside. Well, what a great start for Gus Edwards, the native of Staten Island. There's a flag in as well. It's an 18-yard carry as of now if it stands. John O'Neill, our referee.
Holding. Offense number 6. 10 yards from the start of the foul. Repeat first down.
So that's Muhammad Jabi, wide receiver.
You know, you think about that, you watch it right here. You know, that's an all-day block out there, but he's got him gripped up, and Jerry Kill, the offensive coordinator, is a big part of them being successful. They can't have minus-yard plays or penalties. They're not good enough to overcome those situations.
It's a spot foul, so 1st and 14 on the wide receiver hold. Edwards again. They get it back to make it 2nd and 8. A 6-yard gain that time, tackle by M.B. Tanya.
You know, this is a typical Jerry Kill type offense. He's been around. You know, he was at Southern Illinois, Northern Illinois. Great success running the football at Minnesota. A little bit different because of personnel. You won't see him utilizing as much 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, because he doesn't have that type of personnel here at Rutgers right now.
Once more with Edwards. So the hold does not wind up hurting Rutgers. 2 carries with Edwards. He's able to pick up the first, 10 yards that time before he's stopped by Brooks.
Yeah, just watch this. Look at that line blocking. They're coming off the ball. They knocked that 3 technique right off the ball. You don't think that doesn't fire you up getting a first down, 2 runs after a penalty, you're wrong.
So all 4 plays offensively for Rutgers have gone to that man. 32 yards on the ground for the Miami grad transfer. 3 years at Miami, was right under 1,000 yards. And this season, he's approaching 550 for Rutgers. 3 yards that time, stopped by Savon Walker.
You know, talking to Andy Booth, the defensive coordinator of Maryland, I asked him, you know, what's your goal for this game? Getting off the field on 3rd down, and we talked about him giving up almost 50% conversion rate there. He goes, no, we got to stop the run. That's always our goal. So far, not so good.
Head coach Chris Ash, you just saw the stat, but last year struggled in the Big Ten, did not win any games. 2-3 in the league. What a boost it would be for them if they could get to 3-3 as he continues to build this thing here in Piscataway. Ruscino yet to throw the football. It's all about Edwards. And a nice tackle that time by Chandler Burkett, who kind of plays that linebacker buck spot, which is a defensive end linebacker hybrid.
Yeah, not only has Rutgers been running the football, they've just been running the inside zone. Inside right, inside left, even taking the ball outside. And, you know, when you do that, you're telling the guys up front, and for Rutgers, a young group, they only have 1 senior in that offensive line. So far, they're doing a really good job.
E.J. Durkin, you saw him a moment ago, was defensive coordinator, linebacker coach at Michigan under Coach Harbaugh before now getting the reins of his own program. We're going to get flags here. Ruscino pumping, has nowhere to go. He tucks and runs and is dropped just across the 45.
Well, you got to think it's the defensive man that moved first, because if it was the offensive man, they would have blown it dead.
They will convene And here's John O'Neill. That's exactly the case. Never doubt Glenn Mason. That's the lesson.
You'd be making a big
Offside
mistake there. Right.
5-yard
I'll tell you that.
penalty. Third down.
But it is against DJ Durkin's crew. So that essentially was a free play for Rutgers.
Now, a lot of people don't think this is a big play. They always think big plays, big pass, big run. When you come down to 3rd and short, 3rd and 1, if you convert, it's a big play. If you stop them on defense, that's a big play. So we got a big play in front of us right now.
Will they go to Robert Martin? Yes, first carry for Martin, and that was pretty easy. Not much resistance as he takes it to the 46.
Yeah, they went to the read option play, and, the defensive end cannot be right there. If he crosses the face, and here came a secondary blitz. If the guy doesn't come fast enough, you hand it off. He comes too fast, quarterback pulls it, goes outside.
Maryland has not been able to get off the field this year on 3rd downs. 49% for the opposition is the conversion rate. And another conversion against them there. Fresh out of downs. Rashio looking for the first pass attempt. But he's going to have to tuck and run. Everybody was covered. Pretty nice job, though, by Giovanni Rashio. Gets a few out of it before he's brought down by Antoine Brooks.
Yeah, if I was going to be critical, he did the right thing, but he should have taken off quicker early. You can see right there, you got to go. The old thing about read, release, run. Well, he made the read. He didn't release it. He read again, then he ran. Be lucky he got positive yards there.
And Jerry Kill said he has to be ready to do 1, 2, 3, drop on and then throw it or take off. One or the other.
He did 4 before he took off there.
Blackshear in the backfield. And he'll get the give. First down. So you said Jerry Kill mentioned he wants to run the football. They are running the football.
Yeah, I don't mean to beat a dead horse. You can call the backs names out all you want, but when you're running the ball right at the gut of the defense, you go from tackle to guard to center to guard to tackle. Those guys are doing a whale of a job.
So Rutgers wants to run the football. Andy Boo and that Maryland defense, they said they want to stop the run and get off the field on 3rd down. So far, they're not doing their job defensively. Easier said than done. Trying to get the edge, but the edge isn't there.
Well, it becomes a chess game. I kept saying all they do is run in the middle, and all of a sudden they go outside, they don't get anything. You say, well, why would you call it outside? Well, Jerry's thinking, well, that Maryland Andy Buey's got to think about can't stop the run. I'm going to sink everybody inside, so I call an outside play, and guess wrong.
And number 1, Jermaine Carter was there for Maryland. He'll sit this play out. But for Carter, that was his 293rd career tackle. He's been around the block as the senior from Fort Washington, Maryland. On 2nd down, short pass incomplete. Intended for his tight end, Jerome Washington, but it fell to the ground. Coverage by Rayvon Davis.
So now you got an interesting situation. You don't want to be here if you're Jerry Kill. You'll see the pass right there, and it hits the ground. Good call by the official, but Jerry Kill does not want to be in this situation. That's not their game plan. And if you're Maryland, as you mentioned, giving up almost 49%, I mean, you have got to force them out off the field right now.
The drive that's already lasted over 6 minutes. Rashio running for his life. Incomplete. Even if he had caught it a couple yards short of the stick, Hunter Hayek tried to stay in bounds. But
he voids the rush, and he puts it on the sideline, but it definitely outside. And Andy Boo came with a blitz there. They couldn't pick it up, and Chino did a pretty good job avoiding it and at least getting the throw away and no negative yards.
Now this is interesting. Rutgers with a long field goal attempt. They've only made 4 field goals this year, fewest in the conference. And this is going to be a 53-yarder.
I'd be worried about the fake. That's what I'd be worried about if I was Maryland.
Andrew Hart, his career long is 39, and that one had the leg, but well off to the right. 8:45 on the clock, and a long drive goes awry with a missed 53-yarder. PNC Investments. PNC Investments provides every retirement investor with personal financial advice. Slight breeze outside of High Point Solution Stadium. As the drive starts for Maryland, first carry of the game goes to DJ Moore. That's the guy that they want to get the football to. He's a wide receiver, but they will hand it to him on the sweeps. 51 receptions this year for number 1 DJ Moore, the junior out of Philadelphia. And, Coach, he is explosive.
Oh, man, he's something special. And, you know, Walt Bell, the offensive coordinator, said they had him in camp down in North Carolina, but they didn't offer him. They didn't think he could run. Big mistake. Huge.
He can run. He can fly. He can do it all. He's had a catch in 29 straight games as Moore.
And he also said he's never been around a better kid on the field, off the field, academically, socially than him.
Hortonschlager turns and hands it off to Ty Johnson. Johnson dragging his way out for a first down across the 45. So Max Hortonschlager, the sophomore from Fishers, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis. And he is the third-string quarterback as far as the start of the season is concerned, but he's been the guy, and he's been a good game manager for them.
Yeah, you know how they got him. He was committed to Buffalo, and they lost a quarterback right at the 11th hour the night before, and they called him up, and he came, and, man, are they glad he's here.
It was Dwayne Haskins they lost, so went to Ohio State. That opened the door for Hortonschlager. A little running room there for Lorenzo Harrison as we take a peek at our Auto Owners Insurance Impact player.
Well, there's Ty Johnson. You talk about, you know, running the football. He's something special. We just got done talking about DJ Moore. And then, you know, you think about what they have to do on defense. Kamoko Toure, I've watched this guy since he's been in the league. He might be the best athlete defensively on this field tonight.
And there's no doubt he's the best pass rusher for the Scarlet Knights. Keep your eye on number 58 in black. The right side taking it across midfield to the 47. Sebastian Joseph with a tackle on Harrison.
You know, the two words that jump out me so far in this game for both teams is they're both playing extremely hard and running the football. They've got really good quickness.
A ground game as the first quarter moving expeditiously. That first drive was 6 minutes and 15 seconds, and now first 4 plays all runs for Maryland. But the flag will slow us up.
Offense number 48. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
It's on the tight end, Derek Hayward, mainly a blocking tight end.
Man, you hate to have those type of penalties, but when you've got it in third down and, you know, close to being third down and short, and you get one of those unforced errors, man, really hurts you.
Backs him up to 3rd and 7. Hortonschlager has struggled in the completion percentage department, just a shade over 50. They'll test that right arm here. Incomplete. I don't know if that was intended for Tavon Jacobs or DJ Moore. It was sort of in the middle of them. Damon Hayes dove for the interception, but incomplete.
Yeah, I'm not sure where, but obviously incomplete. You know, the comparisons between these two teams, you talk about the woes that Maryland have getting off the field on third down. You think for Rutgers, Jay Neiman and his bunch, the defensive coordinator, opponents 30%. Big difference.
Huge difference. And DJ Moore at the end of that play, like he might have been pulling down Damon Hayes. There was a defensive back in coverage. Wade Lees is the punter, the 29-year-old punter from down under. Fair catch, Hayek. Oh, he bobbled it. But he was able to dive on it. Near disaster, but averted for Rutgers. So both teams coming up empty on the opening drive, and then Hayek lucky to get the football back for the Scarlet Knights. Big Ten standings. Ohio State, Wisconsin, the lone unbeatens in conference play. Now, Penn State, Michigan State, huge game today. That's still in a weather delay, though.
Yeah, there's a lot going over there in the east and the west. Wisconsin, they struggled there for a while against Indiana, and then just kept rolling. They're just running away with that West Division.
Yeah, still undefeated on the season in its entirety for the Badgers. Second drive for Rutgers. Rasheen hits to Robert Martin. Across the 25.
Yeah, I know how Jerry Kill is. All of a sudden, he's going to say, heck with everything else. Let's just keep, you know, running the middle. And You know, I got to say it again. You know, Cole, Miller, Maiotti, Applefield, and Seymour, tackle to tackle. Guys are doing a whale of a job.
Michael Maietti at center. That's a guy who stepped in for an injured Jonah Jackson beginning of the year. They weren't sure how that was going to pan out. Maietti just a redshirt freshman, but he and the rest of the O-line, they've been up to the task. Robert Martin is swarmed in the backfield that time. Coming up, Mbi Zanyi, big number 50 from Houston, Texas, 300-pounder.
Yeah, old 50 said, I had enough of that. You see, it's just I started talking and bragging about that offensive line. That right guard, you mean you whipped, you threw a no-hitter. You can't do that.
Tanya's been coming on the last couple of weeks, only his 9th tackle of the season. That one was impressive. His 2nd tackle for a loss this year.
That's what Jerry Kill wanted to avoid, those minus-yard plays.
Lost 3. Rashino rolling. Tuck it, run, out of bounds. Several times we've seen him look to throw the football, not have any options, and just take off.
Yeah, well, he's not forcing it in there, and that's probably one of the reasons why he hasn't thrown an interception in a long time. He came out there, but if they had the gimme throw, he's going to put it on the money with the receiver coming in front of him. If it's covered, I'm going to take off and run.
Makes it 3rd and manageable with a 7-yard pickup. Rashino, the redshirt junior from Macomb Township, Michigan. Backs the ball, fires high. Incomplete. Good coverage by Quantrez Knight to safety. 4th down. Rashino 0 for 3 so far throwing the football.
Maryland's gone to some line twist, trying to jump things up there in the middle. Even on that 3rd down, they did it normally pretty effective against inside zone runs, which they've been hurt on.
Rutgers has a very good punter in Ryan Anderson. 44.3 yards per punt is best in the conference. This one angling toward the sideline. They want to keep it away from DJ Moore, but maybe not that much. They're going to come up and mark that all the way at the 40. That's just a 29-yard punt, so that will not help the conference best average of Ryan Anderson. Back to Piscataway in a moment. Play the Big Ten football coming your way. 4 great matchups at noon Eastern, including Rutgers against Penn State and Michigan State battling Maryland, all starting with BTN Tailgate next Saturday on BTN Fox and FS1. Starting this drive from their 40, the Terps, that 4-4 record. Jake Funk, the sophomore who they say is a jack-of-all-trades with a 3-yard gain, tackled by Deontay Roberts.
Yeah, you look at Jake, he had 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter last week, and Walt Bell says you got to find a guy rolling. He was a wing T fullback in high school. How's that?
And he has 5 total touchdowns. The 2 last week you mentioned, actually more touchdowns than Johnson or Harrison. Nice completion there to Tavon Jacobs. That's the 2nd favorite target of Bortenschlager behind DJ Moore. And for more, we go down to Elise Menaker.
Interesting that Bortenschlager just connected with Tavon Jacobs, because that's exactly what we went straight to on the sidelines after that kind of in-between throw. He was having a conversation with him and Caleb Henderson, the backup quarterback. It looks like their conversation paid off.
Well, and Elise Jacobs has touchdown receptions in 3 straight games, and he goes right back to him there. That one a little high.
Jacobs is incomplete.
Maryland's gone to 10 personnel, which means 1 running back, 0 tight ends, 4 wide receivers. He has good protection, and he has a wide open receiver, just throws it too high.
Moore and Jacobs, those are the guys, though, out wide. 2nd and 10 with 3:18 left in the first. Making the handoff and back to Jacobs. Look at that speed. Tavon Jacobs cuts it in. All the way inside the 5.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Dwan Harris, number 3, made a critical mistake. Watch it right here. You got to make that play. he underestimated the speed of the receiver, and that became a big play. And, Harris has just moved to defensive back, this year. And awful good baseball player, but he didn't judge Jacobs very well there.
Yeah, his 4th game since moving from safety for Harris. Also have an injured player down at the end of that 43-yard reception by Jacobs. Rutgers has Elam Lamore popping up to his feet right now. He's a local kid from Piscataway High School, a couple miles from campus.
You'll see him come flying in there, and
he hit Juwan Harris, who we were discussing a moment ago. Hopefully Lamore is okay. Maryland set up nicely, knocking on the door, 1st and goal.
Unbalanced formation.
Jake Funk turning those legs. He's not going to make it. He'll get halfway home to the 2.
Well, one thing about Jake Funk, when you give him the football, he may make a little quick cut, but he is going to go to the goal line.
He's getting a reputation in College Park for being the touchdown vulture.
5'11", 202 pounds. Power pack.
And they love him as a pass protector, too.
Gaithersburg, Maryland, a lot of good football players come out of there.
No signal yet.
I thought he was in.
It appears he's short.
And I tell you one thing, watching, you give him the ball, he lowers his head, and he's getting his pads low, and they got him around the neck. You got to be awful close.
You go to the same thing?
I'm giving it to my man Funk. Yeah. Yes, sir.
They might take another look.
Maybe he heard me talking up here. They're unbalanced.
The ruling is under further review.
This is one of those that is tough to overturn with all the bodies that get hit into that pile. So John O'Neill will talk to the replay official Tom Kissinger up in the booth. And this is what they'll be looking at.
Well, you can't fault him for effort. You can see him right there. Yeah, you can see right there with the defensive man's got his arm. He got a chokehold on him right there. And man, I think it's one of those they would have called a touchdown. It would have stood, and I'm not sure they'll overturn it right here.
But you're right, Trevor Morris had his left arm wrapped around Funk, and I think that's what prevented him from getting the final push into the end zone.
So now what you're doing on the sideline, you're calling your play and thinking it's short.
Good time to welcome in Dick Honig. Anything here that they could see to overturn this?
No, I think Glenn made a good comment. I think if they had called this a touchdown, it would have been hard to reverse. Either way, I think it's got to stand.
Let's see if John O'Neill agrees.
Review, the ruling on the field stands as called. 3rd down.
And of course, on a review, if you see a penalty, you can't call it. So 3rd and goal now, but you're saying go back to Funk.
Well, they're coming right back with unbalanced line, I think. No, they went back to a normal line right here. They changed during the review.
Flags come in.
Offense number 34. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Oh, that's on Jake Funk. Big penalty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what that tells you right there? They are going to give the ball to him.
He was trying to get a jump start.
There's no doubt. He's thinking, they're calling my number. Man, you can't do that.
And DJ Durkin shaking his head. They had 12 penalties last week against Indiana. So now Funk is out of the game, and they have Ty Johnson in the backfield. Maryland already 3 pre-snap penalties.
And throw the ball.
And they are. Schwager to Johnson and into the end zone. The penalty does not hurt the Terps, and they strike first. Johnson has 4 rushing touchdowns on the season. This is his first receiving score.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the most relieved guy there on the sideline is Jake Funk, you know. Get the touchdown, they kind of forget about that mistake you made.
6-yard touchdown for number 6, Ty Johnson. And Bortenschlager now 10 touchdown passes on the season.
You know who's really sick watching Maryland play? Buffalo. Because old Max is pretty good.
Yeah, they wish they could have had number 18. Here off the play action, he's able to hook up with Johnson. And the Jacobs 43-yard reception helped to set all that up. 7-0 Terps. Johnson with a 6-yard touchdown reception. First score of the game, Maryland on top of Rutgers 7-0. Johnson, such a great playmaker for Maryland. On the other sideline, Rutgers without their best playmaker, Janarian Grant, with that ankle injury. That's a big blow for them.
It sure is. He does so much for them, and you know, running back as a wildcat, he's not going to throw the football probably, but a wide receiver, kick returner, dynamic.
Speaking of a dynamic kick returner, Blackshear trying to find a hole and got leveled at the end. And dropped shy of the 25. 11-yard return. Here's our SoFi in the huddle, brought to you by SoFi, the preferred financial partner of the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, with Grant out today, let's watch. This is his Wildcat against Michigan last week, and you know, you can count everybody when you have the Wildcat. That puts it to the safety to make the play. Easier said than done. The safety for Michigan thinks he's going outside. He makes a cut backside, and let me tell you something. When that fellow is leaving you like that, it's all over. They won't have that element today.
And without that element, that Maryland defense and defensive coordinator Andy Boo, something they don't have to account for. Probably makes him sweat a little bit less. He is Mr. All-Purposes, Grant. What a career he's had. And once again, we're going to see Ruscino get outside of the pocket, have that option to pass it, not pass it, and run out of bounds.
One last thing on Janarian Grant. When I asked D.J. Durkin, the head football coach of Maryland, about him, he said, I told our guys on defense, special teams, we have to know where he is on every play. Well, let me tell you, he's on the sideline every play. They're a lot easier for you.
This is so frustrating for Rutgers, though. It's that old ankle injury that he fractured last year, week 4 against Iowa, and it just keeps bothering him and bothering him.
Maryland showing blitz and then checking back out of it.
Ruscino will hand it off to Gus Edwards. And he has been good so far for Rutgers, and Edwards, such good patience in the backfield.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go with it, but you saw right there, and you hit the key word there, is patience. Let it develop. Sometimes you got to let the block make it, and then make the cut off of that. And anytime you're running the ball like that, inside or outside zone, and the safety's making the play, good things are going to happen to you.
Edwards, 43 yards already. He only had 34 last week against Michigan on 12 carries. Did have a touchdown run in that loss. They did get the snap off with 1 second left in the quarter. And it's a good thing they did, because Jerome Washington is wide open in Maryland territory. His team best 22nd reception of the season. It goes for 35 yards.
Yeah, you can see it. They came up a play action pass. It froze everybody, and understandably the way they're running the ball, and he put the ball right on the money. Big play right at the end of the quarter.
And it's the first completion in the passing game for Ruscino and Rutgers, but they trail 7-0 after 15 minutes in Jersey.
Yeah, you can see that right from Route 18 going through. You know, I didn't grow up too far from here.
Starts with a run.
I tell you, Jerry Kill, the offensive coordinator for Rutgers, got to be pleased so far. Mixing it up, run and pass, especially the running game.
They called for an official's timeout for an apparent injury.
I think it was Burkett, and he got off the field.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Chandler Burkett number 92 for Maryland is being tended to on the sideline. As DJ Durkin looks on before a 2nd and 6. Blackshear between the tackles, churning, backing his way towards the marker. Did that second effort get him a first down? It's close.
Little counter action in the backfield with the motion. Everybody calls that eye candy, but you know, I'm going to say it again. I can see why Jerry Kill really likes that guy. He's quick. 5'9", 185-pound freshman from Pennsylvania.
They do spot him a half-yard short. Could be 4-down territory right here, though. Well, it doesn't matter because Gus Edwards says, I'll get plenty extra to pick up the first. You said Jerry Kill has to be liking the action. There he is on your screen.
Yeah, there he is. There's old Jerry right there sitting in there. He's looking over his play sheet. Jerry, you can't be too much on there. Just inside zone right, inside zone left. That's what's working.
Kind of the gray-haired consultant for Chris Ash, the 43-year-old head coach. Edwards again, looking left side. Powerful running for the 235-pound back from Staten Island.
You know, I can tell you about a running game and running backs like this offensive line. You know, it takes an effect. If you're running like this in the first quarter, second quarter, you keep going. Those become really big plays into the third quarter, fourth quarter, because those guys in the white shirt, defenders, you get tired of tackling guys like that.
He is a load to bring down, is Gus Edwards. His best game this year was 94 yards against Purdue. He's on pace to blow past that. Oh, the keeper! And scoring on the keeper, Giovanni Ruscigno. And they fire the cannon on a 9-yard touchdown run by the quarterback, Giovanni Ruscigno.
Yeah, when you're calling plays like Jerry Kill is inside, outside zone, you're watching point of attack blocking, I guarantee you, he's got someone watching what the defensive end is doing. As soon as he's closing too much, says, hey, Jerry, ball the keeper, walks in.
Everyone was crashing on Edwards. Up and in for Andrew Hart. Rutgers already has 113 yards on the ground in the last 9, got him on the scoreboard. Ruscigno doing the work himself. We're all even. Ruscigno rushes it in from 9 yards out, and the cannon flies. Gentlemen have to hold their ears. That thing is loud.
It's loud up here, and we got these mirror muffs on, or what do you want to call them, headsets, and wow.
So Chris Ash's team has drawn even, but the rushing yards, both teams want to run at Rutgers. They have 113 yards already.
Yeah, you know, we talked about, you know, how they're going to win this game. If you're Jerry Kill, you got to control it with the run, and that's what they're doing. Look at the first downs.
Time of possession has been an issue for Maryland all season. Todd Johnson. I don't think he's going to set the edge. No. Down at the 15. Take a peek at the playoff picture. This is what it looks like right now. Everyone was a little surprised Georgia ahead of Alabama, but look at 6 and 7 down there. Ohio State and Penn State knocking on the door.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I thought Georgia should be number 1. I was surprised that Clemson get in there in the top 4. And let's not forget, they lost to Syracuse. And I'm not trying to beat up on Syracuse, but, you know, come on there. I don't know, and I don't think that, you know, Ohio State got as much respect as they should have got for knocking off number 2 Penn State.
And something tells me a lot of shuffling still to be done in the top 4 down the stretch. Lorenzo Harrison gets his number called. Short carry. Rutgers playing with a new sense of energy. A tackle by Sebastian Joseph, the redshirt senior. Next Saturday, pregame show for Big Ten fans comes to you from Madison. BTN Tailgate, presented by TIAA. Next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on BTN.
You think we'll see Jerry DiNardo doing the jump around there in Madison?
I don't know if he's not too cold.
Yeah.
Might have his space heaters right under his feet, I'm sure. On 2nd and 8. Hortonschlager flush from the pocket. Watch out! Incomplete, almost intercepted at the end of that. Coming in and diving at the last second was Ross Douglas. But Alan Lamore was the one who surprised Hortonschlager.
Yeah, the posse's coming there, Max. You can't hold the ball that long. Sometimes you just got to throw it away out of bounds, come back and play another down. You're very, very fortunate right there.
Good diving attempt by Douglas. Now 3rd down and 8. But first, we're going to get a timeout taken by the home team. The Scarlet Knights want to talk it over before the 3rd down.
However, there was no clear and immediate recovery in the ensuing action, so the ball will be placed at the 21-yard line, 3rd down.
So you caught the tail end of the explanation from John O'Neill. Now, what was missed in that last play that we're going back to is Hortonschlager actually fumbled that ball. But then nobody recovered the football because no one realized it was a fumble.
Yeah, they just let it lay there, and you can see they went after it like it was an interception and didn't think he got it. I don't think that Rutgers realized it was a fumble and just let the ball lay on the ground.
So then, Dick, what is the end result there?
Yes, it's simply an incompleted pass as it was called on the field. The replay cannot reverse that. Simply because there was not a clear recovery.
But then there's a 4-yard gain on the end of it. That's interesting. So 3rd down at 4. With Ty Johnson in the backfield. Here comes the pressure. Swung around, and down goes Max Hortonschlager. Sebastian Joseph got in there to help reel into the turf.
Yeah, they came with the pressure, and he doesn't have a chance here. He doesn't even have a chance to throw the ball away, and a whole host of the Rutgers defenders make the play.
Hortonschlager got hit hard, twisted around.
Tough game.
As Kevin Wilkins also came in, sort of twisted him like a pretzel. Luckily, he got up and appears to be okay. Wade Lees boots it. Hunter Hayek, who bobbled one earlier on a punt, catches that cleanly right around midfield. 34-yard punt and the fair catch. Tuesday on an all-new journey. See how 2 sophomores are leading the charge for the Spartans. And find out why family's so important to Northwestern's Justin Jackson. Don't miss an all-new episode of The Journey, Big Ten Football 2017. It's Tuesday, 9 Eastern, right here on BTN.
Now, here's what I always worried about playing. All the momentum's with Rutgers. They make a big play there, and now they get the ball on the short side of the 50. Watch out for the home run.
That fumble, though, earlier where there was a confusion, I want to clear up that was a 4-yard gain because that's where the football stopped on the ground and no one recovered it. So by default, that's where they stopped the play. But in the end, it resulted in Rutgers getting the football. And now for a studio update, let's go to Mike Hall in Chicago.
Second and 6.
Thank you, Mike. 2nd and 6. Maryland had the 7-0 lead. Rutgers answered with a score. Now they've got the football again in plus territory. And the ground game, which has been working so well for the Scarlet Knights, gets them to 3rd and short range, tackled by Melvin Kane and also Isaiah Davis.
And once again, here comes the woes for the Maryland defense getting off the field, getting a stop on 3rd down.
Indiana, like everybody else last week, was right around 50% converting against them. If you look at the numbers from that game last week for Maryland, you would have no idea they won the game, but they did. 42-39. Up the middle, and once again, they cannot get off the field. Savon Walker had the tackle, but not before a gain of 3 and a first down.
Well, you know, if you just play a conventional defense and have enough hats to block the guys on defense and backs hit it in there like that, as long as the linemen come off on the count, it's tough to stop those guys for less than 2 or 3 yards.
This Maryland defense did have a huge blow game 1 in that win over Texas when they lost Jesse Annabonum, one of their big leaders. The front 7 has been so criticized this year. Long pass, and it's batted down. Nice job by Darnell Savage, who we mentioned had that huge game last week against Indiana. He was back in coverage.
Yeah, he was all over that. Really, when you look at it, Machino's lucky the ball wasn't picked off, because that's an underthrown. Good no call by the officials. Both were hand fighting there a little bit.
He was tangling with DeCoven Bailey, the sophomore, only has 7 receptions on the season. Machino just 1 of 5 throwing the ball, so they go back to the bread and butter and get the ball to the 35. Gus Edwards is already at 11 attempts running, and he's also over 60 yards so far in this first half.
Now you're in a passing situation, and they're going to pass it, but it's 3rd and long.
Is this 4-down territory?
You got to get some yards right here.
Pressure up the middle.
Yes, they do.
And fighting for the ball, Washington. He and Knight both had hands on it, or rather, that's Nakia Griffin-Stewart, the other tight end, ripping it away from Knight for a gain of 3. So now is it 4-down territory. We got 3 yards.
Well, it all comes down to, you know, it is, unless you have really good confidence in your field goal kicker. And they're going to go with the field goal.
Hart missed earlier from 53 yards away. And this one from 50. Again, the career long is just 39, and they've only made 4 field goals this entire year and only 7 attempts. Snap and hold are good. I think he got it. He did. A new career long for the redshirt senior Andrew Hart. And Rutgers has scored the last 10. They're up by 3. Saturday, December 2nd, the champions of the East and West divisions collide in Indianapolis for the conference's ultimate prize. Don't miss the 2017 Big Ten Football Championship game presented by Discover. Saturday, December 2nd, only on Fox. Andrew Hart, who just booted the 50-yard field goal. That's the longest in Big Ten history for Rutgers, longest since 2012. They joined the conference along with Maryland in 2014. Gives Rutgers their first lead at 10-7. Javon Lee, kid they say has a bright future, gets tripped up there though, short of the 20. Let's check in with Elise.
Brandon, you had mentioned that Bornschlager got hit hard there. Well, right when he came off on the sideline, a trainer came over to check him out. He was feeling his right quad and stretching it out the entire time. At one point, even Henderson was warming up his leg. So we'll see what he does out there now. But boy, you do not want to see something like that after Maryland has already lost a couple of quarterbacks to injury this season.
Yeah, they've lost Pigram, Hill, their top 2 guys. Behind Bornschlager's Caleb Henderson.
Well, let me tell you, for the last couple years, not just this year, I don't know of a program that's lost more quarterbacks than Maryland.
To that point, their star wide receiver DJ Moore in his career as a junior, he's caught passes from 7 different quarterbacks. Good to see Bornschlager stay in the game, but he throws that incomplete to Jaquil Bay, short of his target.
Yeah, Bay was wide open. Bornschlager did a good job of scrambling out there and getting his eyes back to the perimeter. And
One thing Durkin, though, told us about Bortenschlager, he said, natural leader. A lot of great qualities.
Unflappable.
High praise from his head coach. They'll give it to Ty Johnson, coming around and getting 4 yards on the carry.
Nice tackle by Hester. You know, you're a safety, you come in there to clean the play up and you knock a guy like Johnson backwards. That's saying something. These guys, a week ago, they were only 3 of 8 on 3rd down, so they've struggled on both sides of the ball when you talk about 3rd down conversions.
And here it's 3rd and 6 with just inside of 7 minutes left in the opening half. And we're going to get a timeout by the offense.
Charge timeout, Maryland. They're first.
And the crowd's in the game. I mean, this setting's loud. How the stadium sits down on the ground, you walk in and walk down like a bowl or a pit.
Yeah, it's been nice and a beautiful weather day here in Piscataway at High Point Solution Stadium. And for today's Dr. Pepper craveable moment, it's what we had earlier at noon Eastern. It was wrestling out here before there was some pigskin thrown around.
Yeah, Lisa and I walked down there, took a little of the action in, and got a lot of respect for those guys.
And Rutgers got the best of Maryland, 27-9 in that bout. Craveable moment, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Of course, this was a game, both the wrestling match and the game that was supposed to be played at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, but as Elise told you, deep in that ALCS, they had to make the decision to move it back to campus. Tavon Jacobs swung around at the 40. First down, 16-yard gain.
Really good job by Maryland. Here comes the blitz by Rutgers. They pick it up, and he had a clear throwing lane, and he put the ball right on the money. Much needed conversion.
So he's been the go-to guy. DJ Moore with just 1 catch for 4 yards, but Jacobs 3 for 69. Jacobs came in with 25 catches as Bortenschlager goes down to the ground under pressure, and Julius Turner that time. First sack of the season.
Yeah, you see he's looking, and he just didn't get the protection because it looked like he was going to start the run, but no chance.
Julius Turner, the redshirt freshman, dropping him for a loss of 3. Turner, a guy who at 6'1" was told by the SEC schools, because he's from Mississippi, that he was too short to play in that conference. So he said, okay, I'll go have an impact at Rutgers in the Big Ten. Flipping it outside. Guess who? Jacobs. Pushed out by Trevor Morris, 3rd down. Interesting that it's Jacobs. Moore is being covered, so they're turning to number 12 instead of number 1.
Well, you got to throw it to the guy that's open. I mean, it's as simple as that. And, you know, I think any quarterback makes a mistake, even if he has a guy, you know, like DJ Moore, that he thinks he has to force it in there. Big mistake. Might be the primary receiver, but if he's covered, you go to number 2 or number 3.
See who he turns to here as Johnson evacuates the backfield for 5 wide. Throws it off his heel as he's hit. It's intercepted. Kai Hester. He's going to go. Touchdown, Scarlet Knights. 52-yard pick six.
Yeah, I think this is really unfortunate. I don't think he was trying to complete it. Watch it. I think he was just trying to throw it away out of bounds. He just couldn't get enough arm on it. And, you know, you got to throw that all the way up to row 18. That's what you've got to tell that quarterback, and he just didn't have the arm to do it.
Credit big number 99, Kevin Wilkins, with putting the hit on Bortenschlager that forced the interception. And Kai Hester, who had a pick 6 earlier this year against Nebraska, gets a pick 6 here to make it 17-7.
Yeah, this just becomes a gift. He's going to lay it up there, and here comes Hester. Can't get any easier than that. 6 points for Rutgers.
This year for Rutgers, both pick sixes, one against Nebraska, the one a moment ago of 52 yards.
Yeah, we were at Nebraska. Good luck for him, I guess, huh? He'll want to see us more often.
And Chris Ash told us he actually could have had a pick six against Michigan last week. Nearly intercepted one inside the 20, and he said if he had intercepted that, he could have taken it 80-plus yards the other way. But he dropped it. Javon Leak with a return, but the Rutgers special teams good again. Game recap. Maryland struck first.
Yeah, he saved old Funk for moving in the backfield, and then we come back, and now Rutgers keeps it with the cornerback, and then the one we just saw right here, this was gift wrapped to Hester for a pick six and a touchdown.
And 17 points in 7 minutes and 22 seconds, and a flag on the return with the clock stopped.
Offside, kicking team, number 33. 5 yards to be added to the end of the run. First down.
Yeah, the flag was all the way back around the 35-yard line, so offsides. And they tack 5 on to the end.
It's like they're going to have him re-kick it.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Which is an option, and how high he kicked that and where he returned it from, I don't blame him.
DJ Durkin, 39-year-old head coach, trying to fire the troops up. Both coaches in their second year, both young. I mentioned Ash 43, Durkin 39. Maryland's gone cold as of late as we get one more peek at this offside.
Well, it's got to be up top, I think, and you see it right. Oh yeah, right at the right end. Guy at the end line, just a step over. That's all you have to do is be a step over. And now you got to think that Maryland's going to receive the ball in good position to get a return.
So they will make the true freshman, Justin Davidovitz, kick it again. A little more pop behind this one, but still returnable for Ty Johnson. Stepping outside and getting plowed just across the 20.
If you don't think these guys aren't fired up to play this game, listen to this hit.
Zaheem Simmons coming up, a no-doubter tackle, then celebrating with his teammates.
I always thought one of the great indicators of if your team's ready to play is how physical they play on special teams, and man, these guys are getting after it.
Does Maryland have a response? Because all the momentum right now with the Scarlet Knights. What can Bortenschlager do after the pick six on his last pass? He'll turn around and hand it off to Harrison, but not much there. Maybe a yard. Trevor Morris, he leads the team in tackles, and he got another one.
You know, we talked about it. It's in November. The season gets long, but, you know, the idea of being able to get to a bowl game, or, you know, and Rutgers even more. I mean, they come away with a victory, as we mentioned in the open. 3 out of 4 Big Ten victories. I mean, that's impressive.
Especially after all the struggles they've had. 0 wins in the conference last year. Making the give, a throw. Jacobs has it. Maybe that'll be a pick-me-up for the Terps out to the 40. That's a 15-yard gain.
Well, there's no doubt about it. You know, so far, Jacobs has been the player of the game on offense. And I mean, that's a nice throw, nice catch, and he's going to do something. You better be in a position to tackle that guy, or he's going to take it the distance.
Harrison, first down carry to the Rutgers side of the field. So he had the 15-yard pass, now a 14-yard run.
Yeah, we talked to Jay Neiman, the defensive coordinator for Rutgers, and he talked about Johnson and Harrison, and he said they run like they're vicious, you know, very physical.
Running angry. They're going a little quicker on the side of Maryland. That one is out to Jarvis Davenport. First catch for the junior in this game, 7th on the season. Three straight plays of 14 or more yards. They'd love to get Davenport and DJ Turner in the mix more, along with Jacobs and Moore. Received such a heavy load of the carries, or receptions, I should say. That time back to the ground to Ty Johnson for 4. Stay tuned. Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Rick Pizzo, Howard Griffith, and Chuck Long will be along from our Chicago studio to get you caught up on all the games and news in the Big Ten today.
Maryland going more up-tempo, and it's working for them.
Knocking on the door of the red zone. What do you like on 2nd and 6?
I'd go back to, they had to stop Jacobs on the crossing pattern.
He slot left. Instead, they will go to the ground on the right side to Harrison. Able to sneak up inside and pick up the first down.
You know, so much of it, you see it all the time in modern day football. You line up there, and then the quarterback will look to the sideline, or other players will look to it. Now the guy upstairs, as he looks over that defense, is having a guy on the sideline signaling what they think is the optimum play to run.
Do you worry at all about scoring too quickly if you're Maryland?
No, I want to score. I'm not going to worry about that.
Bortenschlager, pocket starts to collapse. He takes it to the outside and gets dropped at the 15. Trevor Morris, KJ Gray were there. KJ Gray, a guy that they feel really has made big strides this year. He's a local product from Newark.
I've always thought that word about scoring too quickly, that sounds good, you know. It's not in till it's in, and you're sure not going to worry about it in the first half.
Hey, I thought I knew the answer, but I wanted to ask. As the clock approaches 2 minutes, each team with a pair of timeouts. Between the tackles, Johnson, and he goes outside the numbers. Dragged down by Ellen Lamore. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 7.
And you sure want to get, obviously, the touchdown here or the first down, but if you don't, you got to kick the field goal, I think, and get it back, you know, make it a one-score game. And a lot of football still to be played in the second half.
Rutgers is going to take a timeout.
Second.
We'll be back. 1:24 left of the half.
Hold him here on 3rd down that DJ Durkin's probably going to kick the field goal. So this becomes a big play.
Last 3rd down play, Bortenschlager was picked by Hester, and he returned it for a touchdown. Flag before the snap.
Full start. Offense number 12. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So they've had a false start by their tight end Hayward, and now it's on Tavon Jacobs.
Yeah, false start drive you crazy. It really drives you crazy. Really drives you crazy when it's a wide receiver, because you tell those guys they shouldn't be listening to anything. Watch the football. And
Rutgers just had a line change on defense, and because of it, they're going to take another timeout. They were all mixed up. We're going to take one as well. Back to Piscataway in a moment. Mentioned Bortenschlager had a pick 6 on 3rd down. That one wasn't really his fault, though. But besides that, 2 of 3, 22 yards and a touchdown. See what he does here. After Maryland's 4th pre-snap penalty of the first half. Overshooting Tavon Jacobs, but a flag comes in. We're going to get interference, I believe, on Isaiah Wharton.
Yeah, I think he got grabbed.
I believe it was number 11, Wharton, a 3-year starter for Rutgers.
Pass interference. Defense number 11. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Yeah, you can see he's grabbing, and, you know, that's really unfortunate that he did that, and that's what Chris asked. He's got help coming over the top. You're not man-to-man covered. Basically, we got coverage, so don't worry about getting deep. That safety's going to make that play.
But the penalty on Wharton, and that really hurts Rutgers, who had fully seized momentum, and now Maryland with a chance to punch it in here before intermission. Little changing of the play late. They do have 2 timeouts if they need to burn one. But they get the snap off and hand to Harrison. Fights. Is he in? Yes. Touchdown, Maryland. Flag on the ground as well on the far side.
Offside. Defense number 99. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
There was offsides on Kevin Wilkins, the defensive end for Rutgers. Did Harrison get in? The call on the field, yes.
Well, from that angle, your guess is as good as mine, but
that last spin, he fell in.
Let's see it here. Good line blocking, and
just put him in the spin cycle.
Yeah, if nothing's down, he got in. Yeah.
The play was never whistled dead until the end, so touchdown for Harrison. He had his first touchdown of the year last week, and the second one here.
Touchdown. That ruling is under further review.
Look at him. Look at those legs. He's a strong guy. He's got about 5 guys on top of him, and he still manages to twist and get it in the end zone. Look at that. Wow. I'm impressed.
Yeah, he's listed at 5'8". That might be in a pair of high heels. Low center of gravity, and you said it, strong kid, 195 lean pounds. They're going to take another look at it, though.
I don't care how tall he is. He's a strong sucker right there. I want to tell you. Wow.
He's the sophomore Johnson, the junior, that make up that impressive backfield, and they got the power guy, Jake Funk. You know, the stats for the 2 backs, Harrison and Johnson, if you look at the numbers compared to last year, they've gone down. But they told us, we don't care about the stats. Those guys are improved, and what hasn't helped them is the quarterback change.
The ruling on the field of touchdown stands.
And there's the confirmation, touchdown.
Let's watch it again. Look at him hit in there. And, you know, he's not very tall, as you aptly have stated. But, man, he's got a lot of fight in him. He never went down. And desire, strength, toughness. He's got it all. You know, the other thing that has to hurt their stats, we talk about how poor they are on 3rd down defensively. That costs us a possession.
Yeah, that's a good point, because they haven't been able to get off the field. First time someone has scored on that end of the field here at High Point Solution Stadium. Harrison punching it in, 17-14. Maryland had 5 first downs on that last drive that ate up 3 minutes and 53 seconds. And they only had 4 first downs on their first 4 drives, so that was their most impressive.
Yeah, they rallied good. You asked what was going to happen, how they were going to counter. They went up-tempo. I mean, not ultra-fast, but you could sense that they picked it up a little bit. They got Rutgers back on their heels, and I would think that that's what we're going to see in the 3rd quarter from the Maryland offense.
High kick from Sutton. Black shoe. Dragged down by the sleeve. That was Jaquil Vay. How about this sleeve tackle?
Is that what you call it, huh?
Jaquil Vay, the wide receiver, also playing on special teams. And nice tackle. See, your Rutgers, you're out of timeouts. You got 1:08. How do you approach this?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Of course you did.
You know, you go 2-minute offense, I would think that you'll see Rutgers be rather conservative unless they can break one to midfield. Other than that, I think you're going to see the run game and go ahead and go in at halftime with a 3-point lead and just don't make a mistake right before the half.
You knew I was going to ask that. I knew you were going to take down that Delmonico steak last night, but you did. 5-yard gain save on Walker with a tackle. That thing didn't have a puncher's chance.
Oh God, you're bad. Why I put up with you? I have
you were back.
No
you were
idea.
back holding court though in your home state, the Garden State. You know.
I like to talk to people.
Chris Ash is going to just be conservative here.
You say conservative, I say smart. I mean, that. What are they built for? They're built to run the football and play action pass.
Keeper for Lucinho. Hey, don't look now. But now you're pushed out of bounds with still 23 seconds left and a pass and you're in field goal range.
Yeah, that's why you say conservative, I say smart.
22-yard run for Giovanni Ruscino. They wanted the flag at the end of it on the Savage push.
Yeah. And now, like I said, if you get around midfield, 23 seconds, now you got to take a shot. And if you can get in a position to try a field goal, you've done your job.
Conservative and smart, like you said, as Andrew Hart gets ready.
Just smart.
Ruscino. Pressure coming up the middle. He dumps it off with a screen to Edwards. Flag comes in on the backside at the end of that 3-yard gain.
They'll try to clock it unless the clock stays stopped.
Well, they'll stop it to discuss the flag. If this is a hold on Rutgers, it's big. Either way, it's big.
Holding. Defense number 7. 10 yards from the previous spot. Yardage results in a first down.
It's a hold on Maryland and the corner J.C. Jackson. That'll move the ball to the 44. They get on it quickly and they down it. So the spike by Ruscino with 14 seconds left.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Give us another look at that, and I'll show you exactly why he got caught on that thing right there. And the defensive back just grabbed the receiver and held him and swung him around.
Yeah, J.C. Jackson had a fistful of jersey. Throw over the middle, dropped. Oh, Jerome Washington, their sure-handed tight end, could not haul it in. And the sun coming in over the outstretched arms of High Point Solution Stadium, and Washington had it and dropped it.
Oh, man. Big drop.
They love that kid, too. Talked about how great his hands are. They have been this year, but not that time. So you got 7 seconds. You got to throw it deep here, Coach.
You got it.
With no timeouts. Well, they tried to go quick out to the sideline. Would have worked, but unable to haul it in.
Yeah, if he could have caught it there and got out of bounds, which he would have been with 2 seconds left. Now you throw for the end zone.
Second time they've targeted Muhammad Jabi. So calling all Hail Marys with 2 seconds left.
Now you're worried for one of those trick plays, lateral here, lateral there, all that kind of stuff. And
the ultra prevent with a few backed up on the goal line. Ruscino had to throw that off his back foot, though. And it is an easy interception. Picked off by Antoine Brooks Jr. to end the first half.
At the end of the first half,
We thought we would have a close and entertaining game, and we have had a close and entertaining game to this point. Stay tuned for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Rick, Howard, and Chuck, they're coming up. 17-14 Rutgers at intermission. Back at High Point Solution Stadium, entertaining first half, 17-14 is our score in favor of Rutgers. As sun starts to set in New Jersey. Quarterback comparison presented by Quicken Loans from that first half. Ruscino and Bortenschlager each with an interception, but Bortenschlager, as Maryland went through the air more often, the better numbers.
Well, you got to look at Ruscino and Rutgers, and you can see why Jerry Kill says, you know, we're going to have to run the football. 2 of 9, 1 interception? Not good enough. They have to be able to run the ball effectively the second half as they did the first half.
He has 5 rushes, does Ruscino, just 2 completions, and there's Bortenschlager on the other sideline. His main target in that first half was not DJ Moore, but it was Tavon Jacobs. And those are the 2 guys. You look at the receptions this season, it's been them or bust in that Maryland passing game, no doubt about it.
Yeah, you know, you look at it, they don't throw it around very much. You know, they got some good receivers, but, you know, you see some teams, they have 4, 5, 6 receivers, have a lot of receptions. Not that outfit.
DJ Moore caught a pass in quotation marks. I put it in quotation marks because he was coming across on a sweep, and it was just a pop pass a yard in front of Bortenschlager for 4 yards. That's his only reception. And Elise caught up with both coaches. What did you find out, Elise?
Hi, Brandon. I just finished talking to head coach DJ Durkin. He told me that touchdown before the half, that was big. They needed that. But what they also need to do is take care of the football. He says what he wants to see in the second half is his team be more balanced, get it done on the ground and in the air. He said that was a quick 6 points by Rutgers to put them behind. So they need to just kind of get the lead now and, like I said, be more balanced. As for Rutgers, head coach Chris Ash told me that we're making a couple of mistakes. We need to clean it up. But he likes the way they're running the ball. Of course, we talked about that was a big emphasis for them coming into the game. He wants to see them convert on 3rd down.
Yeah, that's a key for both teams, but they will start this second half on defense as Maryland will receive it.
Ash likes what they're doing running the ball, huh? 154 yards at halftime. What wouldn't you like? I mean, that's impressive.
And you said it. You give a Jerry Kill offense 200, 250 yards on the ground and don't turn the ball over, you're going to win that football game.
Yeah, you know, this is not his first rodeo here at Rutgers. And the thing about it, when you're, you know, a run-oriented football coach, which Jerry has been his whole career, you have some patience. You know, you go in there, you're not worried about, you lose your patience, think you got to score fast. As long as that you're moving those chains until they overplay your run, you'll stay with the run.
Ty Johnson stands ready to return it. Start of the game, we were up around 59 degrees. Temps right now going to the lower 50s, hovering around 52, 53 degrees.
It's great football.
It is. Fantastic football weather. You know, some of the Midwest have not been so lucky. From the goal line. Instead of Johnson, it's Leak. There's a flag down on the return. Quite a bit of yellow in the first half.
Holding. Return team number 80. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Mentioned it, but last week against Indiana, 12 penalties for Maryland. They've had 4 pre-snap penalties, a couple others. They're struggling with that.
Yeah, penalties going to happen in the game like we just saw in that return right there. They got Noah Barnes for a holding. That happens, but it's those penalties, those unforced errors, those false starts that'll absolutely drive you crazy.
They'll try to clean it up from the 4 pre-snap penalties they had in the first and second quarters combined for the Terps.
Field position becomes such a big factor. If you're Rutgers, if you can force them to punt the ball from down here, you're going to get good field position.
Bortenschlager to Jacobs, incomplete. Try to go down to the ground to catch it. Once again, though, targeting Tavon Jacobs, who was the star in the first half.
Yeah, and that quick slant so hard to defend, and it's good coverage there, and it hits his hands, but he just can't hold on to it.
5 catches, 91 yards so far for Jacobs. Bortenschlager's thrown for 120. Handoff around the edge, Johnson, and he will step out. Was there a hold? That's the question. You were acting like you were the official throwing a flag up here in the booth. So I think you saw what they saw.
Well, I just saw it come out fast, and I see Maryland clapping their hands, so it could be on
Holding. Defense, number 51. 10 yards from the end of the run. Yardage results in a first down.
So it was a hold. It was just on the Knights and Sebastian Joseph.
Yeah, you don't see that very often on a run play coming that fast. So there must have been some type of zone block, and they called the defensive lineman for doing it.
So you get the 6-yard run plus the penalty yardage to take it out to the 26. That gives Maryland some much-needed breathing room. Play action. Bortenschlager. Believe it. Oh, what a collision. That was K.J. Gray and Damon Hayes. Yeah, they need to take the time here. K.J. Gray got the worst of that. Oh, he and Hayes going for the ball. That's tough to watch.
Let's hope he's okay. Any doubt people playing hard out there? There's the proof.
Full speed. We'll be back.
Hey, sometimes those things just happen, and this is okay.
Both going for the interception on the attempted pass that was intended for Tavon Jacobs. Now Bortenschlager, after the long pause, will try to regroup with the Maryland offense. 2nd and 10. Going down to 2 knees to catch it, Jaquil Bay.
Has to bleed to Bay.
He was hoping to get to the marker, and he ended up a yard short, a pickup of 9.
It is third down.
He had been able to get another yard and then go down to the knees. That would have been ideal, but Maryland will have to convert on 3rd. Bortenschlager 9 of 15 with a touchdown to the interception.
As I mentioned earlier, these 3rd and 1s, huge plays.
And the Terps have brought in Jake Funk. Haven't seen him in the backfield in a while. It's been mostly Harrison and Johnson. But he's the power back, and he picks up the first down and more. A foot race. Funk is tracked down by Juwan Harris, but not before he takes it inside the 15. That's a pickup of 54.
Yeah, last time we saw him there, he moved forward. He got a false start on the offense, and they took him out. And again, good line blocking right there, and he hit the seam, and he's off to the races.
He needed 1. He got 54. And they try again with Jake Funk. But once he got through on that last play, the Red Sea parted.
Yeah, you see it right there. He makes a good cut, and he's not very tall to begin with, and he dipped down, and everybody lost sight of him, and big play.
He came into the game with 80 yards on the season, and he has 59 on 4 attempts in this game, does Jake Funk. Now he's replaced by Ty Johnson. 2nd and 8. QB draw. And inside the 5 and not shy of contact. Bortenschlager flooring the shoulder.
You know, we talked about that quarterback position, and, you know, they lost Terrell Tigrum. They lost Kasim Hill. They were dual threat quarterbacks that could run. Max Bortenschlager's not a dual threat quarterback, but everybody will tell you he's got the ability every once in a while, not call quarterback runs except for a draw, but he's not afraid to run the football.
And he wants to involve number 1 DJ Moore, who's in the slot. It's that one catch on the pop pass to start the game. Johnson. Maryland back in the driver's seat. A 90-yard drive capped off by Ty Johnson, the junior, pounding it in with 12:07 left in the third.
Yeah, you watch him right here. Locking back, pulled the lineman. He has patience. He's got vision. He made the perfect cut right up there. Hard to stop. He talked about, wasn't too long ago, I said, hey, 90 yards to go. If Rutgers could hold them, well, they didn't.
They hurt themselves early with a penalty. 14 unanswered points for Maryland, so after they trailed 17-7, DJ Durkin says, that's okay. We got the playmakers to make up that deficit. He gets that left ankle retaped. He and Harrison each have had a rushing score, and Maryland is back in front 21-17.
He's from Cumberland, Maryland. You know, their famous Big Ten guy was a really good running back from Cumberland, Maryland.
I want to know.
Earl Bruce.
Oh, yeah. In Cumberland, Maryland, a lot of good players have come out of there. That entire area, really, as you get close to the nation's capital, there's darn good football players, especially in this conference. He's electric. He's a freshman, and he can move. Raheem Blackshear, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, he can be dangerous. A return there of 44 yards.
Yeah, now we know why Jerry Kill is so excited that, you know, when we were asking him about Grant, he said, I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing, I got Raheem Blackshear back, and this guy is really something special.
That he could be the most talented back when his time at Rutgers is done since Ray Rice.
That's saying a lot.
That is saying an awful lot. Right now he's waiting patiently behind Gus Edwards and Robert Martin, who are getting a majority of the reps, and understandably so. It's Edwards in the backfield now. Play clock at 1. They're not going to get it off, and I don't think they called a timeout, did they?
Delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That will drive a coach crazy.
But, you know, really there's no excuse for that. You know, especially coming out of a, you know, after a kick or a timeout or coming out there. And, you know, especially now that you can call timeout from the sideline as the coach. You used to always put it on the quarterback, but, man, there's a lot of people out there watching that play clock, and you can't afford that 5-yard penalty.
11 total penalties in the game between the two teams. Edwards patient and dragged down by Antoine Brooks. Just got him by the left foot. Let's take a look at our United States Marine Corps leader of the game, and that is Marcus Applefield, redshirt junior offensive guard from Florida. Participating in several community service initiatives, including trips to the hospitals, loves to read to the children. Also an avid fisherman. Major in criminal justice, a well-rounded kid and well-deserving of the United States Marine Corps leader of the game. Back to Ricino with the right arm as he throws out, incomplete.
So now you look at this last series yet. You had a delay of game. You had a -yard play. You had an incomplete pass. All the things that Jerry Kill talked about that they can't overcome those type of mistakes.
And they don't want to have to deal, as that was a catch with a Jerome Washington injury, a very talented tight end, and then he got hit by Josh Woods. So it goes for a gain of 7. A heck of a catch after the initial drop. Now they're just hoping Washington's okay as he went to the sideline. All kinds of time. Ricino, though, nobody to throw to. So he puts his nose up in the Maryland defense and gets out to the 45. Back-to-back 7-yard gains. 4th and 3 here. You're kind of in that no man's land.
Yeah, but you're still playing the field position battle. I think it's the right decision here in the game. You punt it away and put your defense in a position to give them some room to stop Maryland.
Maybe if you only need a yard, you might go for it.
Yeah, you're talking about 3 yards. And you weren't really good in that series to begin with.
We haven't seen much from DJ Moore catching the ball. He'll get a chance to field this low punt, and he'll get away from it. And it's going to turn out perfectly for Rutgers and punter Ryan Anderson. Down right around the goal line.
Yeah, they're off and running, and you see they did a little crossing action so they couldn't get held up, and they do a great job there. Even the third guy keeping the one gunner out of the end zone.
Lawrence Stevens making the play at the 2-yard line, a 44-yard punt. Wednesday, BTN's late night show Sportslight with Mike Hall showcases Big Ten athletes and coaches and delivers a hysterical look into their lives off the field. So don't miss Sportslight with Mike Hall Wednesday at 11 Eastern on BTN. Tough starting field position. Maryland had a 90-yard drive. If they complete this one, it'll be 98 yards. That's a good start. Leaking through Lorenzo Harrison. Tackled by Juwan Harris.
Lorenzo Harrison, 5'8", 195 pounds. He got a little shake to him. And see how he took the fight to that defender? I like that.
Pickup of 11. It's now 9.5 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, get an unbalanced formation.
This time not as much luck. Trevor Morris was there, as was Julius Turner. Harrison will get a breather.
Yeah, you'll see it. Enough of that stuff running and control the line of scrimmage and hard to run the football.
Rutgers, this defense last week allowed 334 rushing yards to Michigan. They really struggled. Intended for DJ Moore, and he stopped on a dime and was there. Then he tripped, and the pass was wide of it.
Yeah, you talked about this defense a week ago against Michigan. Now, Michigan lined up a little bit different running attack. They were in the off-tackle power over and over and over again, and Rutgers just couldn't stop it.
DJ Moore had Hayes beat. Pass wide to Fortenschlager, now 3rd down and 8.
A week ago, these Terrapins only converted 3 out of 8 third-down situations.
Maryland 4-4, Rutgers 3-5 of the season. Big game for both. Stepping up, Fortenschlager down to the ground. Wilton Prevalon. First time we've called his name. Redshirt sophomore from Orange, New Jersey with a tackle, and Maryland will punt. As Prevalon just defeated the block of Terrence Davis and got to Fortenschlager. And a pause here because Ty Johnson, or not, excuse me, Deontay Roberts, rather, on the other side is down. Yeah, just at the end there, Kamoko Toure kind of backed up into Deontay Roberts, and then he went down awkwardly. He's second on the team in tackles. He's a captain.
Yeah, you watch it. That leg whip. That hurts. Get that leg going, the force, the shoe. And Trey's a big guy.
He's walking, but he's limping, Deontay Roberts. So the native of Brooklyn will have a seat as Hunter Hayek waits to return the punt for the Scarlet Knights. And not a good one by Wade Lees.
thing.
That hit off of Isaiah Wharton. And then DJ Turner was right there to jump on it. Watch this.
Yeah, you can see it right there. And, you know, Wharton's trying to hold up the gunner, and he loses track of where the ball is. And he's not assuming the ball's going to be that short to the outside. And it hits him and heads up by Maryland. And could be the biggest play of the game for Maryland.
When Lees kicked it, I said, not a great punt by Lees. It turned out to be a great punt by Lees. The end justifies the means. And Maryland all of a sudden keeps the football, and they are at the Rutgers 41.
And they started under 1. Let's not forget that.
So fresh life, play clock, snap comes at 1. Wartenschlager tries to find some time, and he does get it complete to DJ Moore. Well, that's what DJ Moore can do. He escapes the tackle on his second reception of the game and picks up the first down.
Yeah, we know when Walt Bell, the offensive coordinator, was talking about this guy, DJ Moore, the first thing he talked about was what a great kid, best kid he's ever had. And then he said, you know, I was at Oklahoma State. We have Blackman, very similar to him.
Eventually just said, I'm running out of adjectives to describe the guy in a positive manner. For the end zone goes Wartenschlager for Jacobs, and he drops it. Tavon Jacobs has had some great catches in this game, and that should have been another catch and a touchdown.
Yeah, as my good friend Mike Hall says all the time, let's play a game of wide open. He was wide open, but he lost. Too wide open, maybe.
Yeah,
Oh, you got to catch it in your hands. He tried to pin it against his body, and you can't do that. You're a receiver. You got great hands. That's a lot easier than those slant routes you've been catching. Ooh.
I just know that he cannot believe that one. Had touchdown receptions his last 3 games against Northwestern, Wisconsin, and Indiana, and should have had that one. Harrison bouncing it outside. Stepping out right around the first down marker. See where they spot him. They'll spot him 2-yard shot. So an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 2.
You know, we talked about it in the open, but both these teams, they may lack some depth compared to some other schools in the Big Ten, but they've got some guys that have a lot of talent, very exciting football players.
Both coaches said speed, speed, speed at the skill positions on the other side. Out of the pistol. Strong straight ahead. Harrison looked like he stopped about a half-yard short.
Now the question you ask me all the time, I'm going to go for it here. I'm short, that close, I'm going for it.
And right now the offense is on the field. DJ Durkin says, why not? Jake Funk is in the backfield. He moves over to the right side of Wartenschlager. Movement. Both sides pointing at the other. Oh, this is going to be an interesting call. One sideline and one coach is going to be very upset. I
thought the tight end moved first.
Offside, defense with contact, number 99. 5-yard penalty. Yardage results in a first down.
That's Kevin Wilkins, the redshirt junior.
That tight end moved.
Yeah, I'm with you, Coach. Derek Hayward flinched.
That tight end move, that's a bad call. I don't blame Chris Ash.
And Hayward had a penalty earlier in this game, pre-snap. He lucked out there. The crowd rains down boos as Harrison is going nowhere. An angry Rutgers defense rallies to the football. It's a good thing Chris Ash is not mic'd up.
Yeah. Oh, man, that not even close. Come on.
Can the Scarlet Knights D bow up like the student section is? Maryland perfect in the red zone. There's still some boos coming down here at High Point Solution Stadium.
Do you blame them?
No. They'll give it to Johnson. Deontay Roberts with a tackle, number 6, tackling number 6 after a gain of a few.
And it's getting louder. If they can hold them to a field goal, the Rutgers defense, they did a whale of a job. Everything they had to overcome in this series.
Jacobs in motion back to the slot right. Hornsberger feeds it away, but wait, a flag comes in.
Hold it. Should call it tackling.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. There was an eligible receiver in the vicinity.
Wow. But wait, there is a hold, and it is on the offense. That's the part he didn't say.
Oh, okay.
I think John O'Neill's going to come back and explain that. If not, Chris Ash may run onto the field. And John O'Neill's checking to see what Coach Ash wants to do.
Offense number 55. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
I was going to say, if they didn't call that out, I was going to start booing. You see 55 right there. The quarterback's moving around, but man, look at him. He got him gripped up as big time. And
Derwin Gray and Kevin Wilkins look like the wrestling match we saw before the football game here today.
How many points you get for a takedown? 2?
Right there looked like he should have gotten 10. 30-yard field goal for Darmstadter. Good. Rutgers crowd still booing. Maryland helped out by a special teams gaffe from the Scarlet Knights, and that gives them 3 points from Henry Darmstadter. They lead by 7. We're gone. Chris Ash still angry about that call from a few plays ago.
See, I love it. See, most people think coaches, it's a job. No, it's a passion. You know, they get paid a lot of money. He'd do it for free. I mean, you put everything you have into it, and he doesn't like it. You get beat, you get beat. He thinks someone missed something they shouldn't miss there.
He went back for seconds and thirds and fourths. Raheem Blackshear had a great return of 44 yards last time. And here he's just able to get across the 20. Another break. Back in a moment. Half right there down 7. Janarian Grant, they would love to have him on the field instead of in the sweats. Mr. All-Purpose.
You got that right. You know that we knew he was a good receiver, good kick returner. What he did last week against Michigan in the Wildcat, P.J. Durkin was worried where he was going to line up all night long. Well, he's lined up on the sideline.
Really changes what Rutgers can do offensively. Robert Martin with a carry there to the 26 as we go back to Chicago and Mike Hall.
Brandon, Penn State is in trouble against the Spartans. L.J. Scott scores to give them the lead. The Nittany Lions just tacked on a field goal, but they are down by 4 late in the third quarter, 21-17.
Interesting day in the Big Ten.
It's always interesting.
Be fun down the stretch, that's for sure. Pretty big hole up the middle. Robert Martin running with big pace right from the get-go. First down.
Well, there's nothing absolute, but Rutgers very impressive on the inside zone today.
But Rutgers with 162 rushing yards. Before this drive started, though, in this third quarter, yardage was 119 to 12. Now it's 119 to 24. Deep ball from Ricino. Incomplete. And then a near collision. That's our back judge, Michael Elliott, falling.
Got to pick your feet up, man.
It was intended for Bo Melton, who they rarely target. He only has one catch all year. Uh-oh. Backpedaling, and down goes Frazier.
He's laughing about it.
Yeah, he can laugh now since that was incomplete and no one plowed into him.
They'll make the highlight reel. I wonder what Dick Honig would say about that one.
Second and 10, but Bo Melton, he is a deep ball threat. They just only hit one pass to him all season for 48 yards, not that time. Robert Martin gets his number called, but nothing. Back to the line of scrimmage and pushed down. Once again, we say Mb Tanyi, number 50, in on the tackle. Watch Big Ten football wherever you are with BTN To Go and Fox Sports Go. Never miss a thing all season long. Available in the App Store and Google Play.
All right, what are we going to do on third down here? You're always asking me, what do you want to come with?
I'm asking you, Coach. I'll tell you this, I'm throwing the football. Rutgers only has 3 completions all day, but Ricino needs to complete his 4th. Complete his 4th. And he found Jerome Washington. See, I'm going to go down there and call plays on the sideline.
Right to see you to go down there. Yeah, you've got to delay a game in that last one. Hey, watch the protection here, right here. He stands tall. Look at all the time that he has. Wide open receiver.
And we saw Washington drop one earlier, then nearly drop one and make a spectacular catch, which he left the game on. So Rutgers is happy to have big number 88 back. 15-yard pickup. Gus Edwards, he was the story of the first couple of drives for Rutgers. Tripped up by Josh Woods.
You talked about it before, but, you know, they got a lot of patience in this running game. You saw Gus Edwards hit in there. He stayed square and stutter step for second and broke it outside and picked up significant yardage.
67 yards on the ground for Gus Edwards. Approaching his season best game of 94 yards against Purdue earlier in the year.
Jerry Kill's up in the press box calling the plays. He used to be on the sideline. He got run over on the sideline earlier in the year, so they put him up top and Terrell safe.
And a good vantage point for him as well. Strong run, first down. Power. And the men up front did their job.
Oh, man, watch that offensive line. Look at that movement. Man, they're just knocking people off the ball.
That front 7 of Maryland, all the criticism they've received, continue to struggle. There's Jerry Kill up in the booth.
They put the hat on. Go.
Play action for Ricino. Rolling out on the bootleg, and he completes it to Miles Nash. First time they called Nash's number in this game, and only his 2nd catch of the season.
Well, you know, historically, Jerry likes to run the football and has always used his tight ends effectively. Remember at Minnesota, he had Max Williams, now in the net.